They say the words written, when telling a story, paint an image of what is happening, though I believe they paint an image of what adventures are yet to begin. And this adventure begins here, right in this very room. With my little friend, Sookie Bottom, and this is her story. Once upon a time, there lived a mischievous puppy by the name of Sookie Bottom. She was white with brown and black patches. She had lived at Macquarie Grove Fields in Lavender Cottage for a short time, but had come to call it home. There lived Mr. Maple, Mrs. Maple, and their 4 children, but it was Great Maple whom Sookie Bottom loved the most. She would spend her days watching Great as she painted, but one particular brisk autumn morning, as Great went to fetch some water for her brushes, Sookie Bottom had the urge to go for a stroll. Now, I did warn you that Sookie Bottom was very mischievous. She strolled down and around the back of Lavender Cottage, where she found a large peppercorn tree that had made its home on the Maples' property for many years. Beneath the foot of the tree, dug into the hillside, was a small cottage, and out the front sat a little puppy, quite like herself. "Hello there," said Sookie Bottom. "Hello," said the puppy. "I have not seen you around here before. Where have you come from?" he asked. Sookie Bottom told him that she had come from another farm, a long way away, and that Great had brought her here. "Really?" the puppy asked. "I too had come from another farm, and now I live here in this cottage with another dog called Papa." Sookie Bottom and the young puppy that called himself Prince quickly became good friends. "I am off to find some vegetables for Papa's stew. Would you like to join me?" Prince asked. Sookie Bottom accepted the invitation, and they set off upon the fields to find some vegetables for Papa's stew. They had not gone far before they ran into Jack the Rabbit, who was hopping around under a shady tree, strumming on an old guitar. "Good morning, Prince, and who is this?" he sang, asking. Oh, I forgot to mention that Jack Rabbit loved to sing everything he spoke. "This is my new bosom friend, Sookie Bottom. We're off to fetch some vegetables for Papa's stew," Prince explained. "Stew, eh? Rabbits don't like stew, but I know where you may find some," Jack Rabbit said. He told the puppies if they followed the trail further down, they would surely come across Mr. Scruffy Murphy's farm. "His wife grows many vegetables. She wouldn't mind if you took some, I'm sure," explained Jack Rabbit. But he warned them not to take more than they would need. Sure enough, Jack Rabbit was right. There was Mr. Scruffy Murphy's farm. There in the garden was Miss Murphy. They walked over to the veggie patch, filled with many juicy vegetables. There they began to dig. "Now, see here, little puppies, it is not polite to take something that does not belong to you without asking," Miss Murphy exclaimed. Though Miss Murphy was quite nice, unlike Mr. Murphy, who was very grumpy. She handed Prince and Sookie Bottom an assortment of vegetables, carrots, potatoes, and onions, and she sent them on their way. Now, upon walking back, Prince and Sookie Bottom had stopped by an old watering can for a drink, but what the young puppies did not know is that they had been followed. Suddenly, from behind the shrubs appeared what looked like a gentleman dog, dressed in a vest and trousers. "Well, hello there," the gentleman said. "Hello," replied Sookie Bottom and Prince. The gentleman glanced down at the vegetables. "Are you making something?" he asked. "Yes, we're making a stew," Prince replied. The gentleman's eyes lit up. "A stew? That sounds mighty tasty. Would you like some help carrying them?" asked the gentleman. He picked up all the vegetables the puppies had been given with ease. "You are very strong," Sookie Bottom told him. "What kind of a dog are you?" asked Prince. "Why, I am a dog, just like you, but only bigger," replied the gentleman. But, unknown to the puppies, the gentleman was not a dog. He was in fact a fox. But you see, foxes are very cunning creatures. He had disguised himself to look like a dog by brushing down his pointy ears and tying up his bushy tail. But for Prince and Sookie Bottom, who had never seen a fox before, believed the gentleman when he told them he was a dog. Now, back at Peppercorn Cottage, Papa had invited her friend, Honey Bear, over for supper. Awaiting Prince's return, they sat over a pot of tea. Honey Bear was an old wise dog that lived on the other side of Macquarie Grove Field. She was a good friend who watched over the puppies. Sookie Bottom and Prince, with their new friend, had reached Lavender Cottage. "Is this where you live?" asked the gentleman. "No, we live under the peppercorn tree in a small cottage," Prince explained, pointing. "I see," said the fox, with a grin on his face. Unknown to the naive puppies, they had led the hungry fox straight to their home, which he had planned for all along. "You have been very helpful," said Sookie Bottom. "Yes, you have gone to so much trouble to help us. You must be hungry. Would you care to join us for supper?" Prince asked. "Well, if you insist," grinned the gentleman. But the fox had no interest in Papa's lovely stew. He had sole intentions to make a lovely meal out of the kind puppies that had led him there. "Now, you wait here," Prince said to the fox. "I shall tell Papa we have returned and that a new friend will be joining us for supper." Although the fox was hungry, he patiently waited out the front of the cottage. Prince and Sookie Bottom entered the cottage. Prince introduced his new friend Sookie Bottom to Honey Bear and Papa. They explained to Papa and Honey Bear that they had returned with the vegetables like she asked, thanks to the help of a gentleman dog that they had invited back for supper. They led Honey Bear and Papa outside to meet their newfound friend. Honey Bear, who was much wiser than the puppies, saw straight through the fox's disguise. She was shocked that the puppies were so silly not to see he was a fox, and led him straight to the cottage. Honey Bear, who was much bigger than the fox, startled him. "You are no dog," said Honey Bear. The fox stepped backwards, in surprise, undoing the ribbon he had used to disguise his bushy tail. "Oh my, Mr. Dog, what happened to your tail?" Sookie Bottom and Prince asked. "He may look like a dog and sound like a dog, but he is in fact a fox," Honey Bear explained. The fox's ears that had been folded down stood up, removing his vest and trousers to reveal his true form. Honey Bear stood her ground towards the unfriendly fox, growling at him, saying, "You and I know. You are not here for vegetable stew, and you are up to no good, befriending young puppies only to make a meal out of them." What Honey Bear said was true. His intentions were shady, and he had no plans of being friends with Prince and Sookie Bottom. The fox, scared and shaken by Honey Bear, fled the cottage and left the property into the nearby forest. "Listen, young puppies, this time you are lucky that Honey Bear was here to scare off the fox, but next time you must be very careful who you talk to," Papa explained. Prince and Sookie Bottom promised they will never talk to strangers again, and will be much more wary of foxes. "Well, that's enough excitement for one day. Let's all go inside and have some stew," said Honey Bear. So they set foot back into the cottage for some of Papa's lovely stew, grateful with warm soup in their bellies and not in the belly of the crafty fox. Join us for more tales of Sookie Bottom and her friends at Macquarie Grove.